What is up, everybody? You are checking out the Uncensored Pro Wrestling Podcast. I'm your host, the Hakamai ENC, and you are joining me for our WWE Monday Night Raw recap live on January 13th, 2025. We're starting off the night with CM Punk coming out to the ring. He's bragging about his win over Seth Rollins last week on Raw. That's when he's interrupted by Seth Rollins. Rollins announces that he will be in the Royal Rumble match and he promises to throw CM Punk out. After the two of them face off, Drew McIntyre then comes out and talks shit to both of them and basically says that he'll be in the Royal Rumble match as well and he'll throw both of those men out. So, big names so far. We've got CM Punk, Seth Rollins, Drew McIntyre, all of them involved in the Royal Rumble match. I don't know if one of them is going to win it, but I definitely know we've got a lot of combustible elements in that match. Moving on, we see the debut of Penta, known as Pentagon Jr. in AEW, former AEW Tag Team Champions with Ray Phoenix. They're part of the Lucha Bros. Penta debuts here and defeats Chad Gable in an amazing match. It was a really great back and forth match between the two men. Penta gets the win after landing a Penta driver. After Penta speaks in Spanish and says he's been waiting to be in the WWE forever, and now he's here, and he has zero miedo, no fear. It was a cool introduction to Penta. They're billing him as the best luchador. He did some really good moves here, and I feel like we'll see more from him. And I did like the way he and Gable worked together. We then see Judgment Day backstage. Dominic Mysterio shows up with roses for Liv Morgan. Remember, Dominic offered a hug to Rhea after Liv Morgan lost the women's world title last week on Raw. Um, he has roses for Liv, and basically Liv wants Dominic to do her bidding and grab her bags and do stuff like that. And Dominic's gonna have to pay the price to get back in Liv's good graces. Uh, we then see Sheamus defeat Ludwig Kaiser in a very good match. Sheamus gets the win after landing a bro kick. Afterwards, Sheamus faces off with the WWE Intercontinental Champion Braun Breaker, who is in the crowd. Sheamus will take on Braun Breaker for the Intercontinental title. We then see Sami Zayn backstage. Seth Rollins confronts him, and Rollins tells he asks Sami, "When are you going to start looking out for your stuff for yourself instead of everybody else?" Good question. Sami's for the past couple of years has been involved in the Bloodline storyline. He's been involved with Kevin Owens. He's been involved with now trying to help Jimmy and Jey. He's involved in everything, and it's time Sami does do his own thing. I agree with that. Next, we have WWE World Champion Gunther coming out. He basically brags about defeating everybody on the Raw roster and says nobody can challenge him. That's when Jey Uso comes out and makes a challenge for Saturday night's main event. Gunther agrees, and the two of them will fight in a couple weeks after Saturday's main event. I'm feeling yeet for Jey Uso here. I do think Gunther's gonna win, but Jey Uso continues his time trying to be a main event star, and he's doing very good. The crowd loves him. Next, we have the finals for the WWE Women's Intercontinental Championship. Lyra Valkyria defeats Dakota Kai after landing a Nightwing, and Lyra is the first ever WWE Women's Intercontinental Champion. This is a good match between the two. I did want Dakota Kai to win because she never really wins anything really big, but Lyra is a good contender and now the first ever Women's Intercontinental Champion. Good match, and I will say I am glad that Lyra has a title because she deserves to be a champion because she is a good wrestler. Next, Sami Zayn defeats The Miz after landing a blue thunder bomb. Not really much in this match other than The Miz wanting to talk shit to Sami Zayn backstage. And quick match here, and Sami gets the win. Next, WWE World Women's Champion Rhea Ripley comes out and talks about defeating Liv Morgan last week. She gets confronted by Nia Jax, who comes out and says that Rhea Ripley is nothing. Bayley comes out and confronts Nia and says that Nia sucks and that that she'll become the new women's champion on SmackDown. Nia Jax attacks Bayley and Rhea Ripley, but Rhea and Bayley double team Nia and take her out, and Nia leaves looking upset. This sort of union between Rhea Ripley, the World Women's Champion, and Bayley is starting to ignite over Nia Jax here, and they dropped Nia to the mat. And we've made it to our main event, a special street fight. Damian Priest defeats Finn Balor in a crazy match. We see Finn Balor land a coup de grace through steps, but Damian Priest gets the win after landing a South of Heaven through a table. And Damian Priest has finally put an end to his foe, Finn Balor. Hopefully, this is the end of the rivalry. He finally shut up Finn Balor for good, and maybe Damian Priest can move on to the Royal Rumble match and get a shot at the world title at WrestleMania. So a lot of moments happening here. We saw the confrontation between CM Punk, Seth Rollins, and Drew McIntyre. All those men will be involved in the Royal Rumble. We saw the debut of Penta. We saw Sheamus look to challenge Braun Breaker for the Intercontinental title. We saw Seth Rollins confronts Sami Zayn, telling Sami to work on his own. Nia confronts Rhea Ripley, and Bayley helps Rhea Ripley to stop Nia, and Damian Priest ends Finn Balor. A lot of interesting stuff. We're heading to Saturday night's main event, but most importantly, we're heading to the Royal Rumble, which is on February first. So a lot of good stuff coming your way. Decent episode of Raw. Definitely, if you like what you just heard, you can check us out on YouTube. Just search the Uncensored Pro Wrestling Podcast. Subscribe, like, and hit the notification bell. Check us out on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Amazon Music, and wherever you get your podcast. Until next time, stay safe and stay uncensored.